Action. Cut. Okay. And then you stand and then you keep looking at her. That's it. While she's walking away. You don't need to walk away, you can be somewhere there. You can then, as if she's walking out of that door.
And saying, cheer up, will you? So that's it, because then you think if we're shooting that from 4 different angles, then we need to make sure that that's bang on.
ये लाइट थोड़ी कहाँ है वही लाइट?
Okay. So you have a mark here, anyway. So can we just try the movement of that again? Thank you. And then we can go through the beginning in terms of how we start the scene, like you say. Yeah?
Okay.
Cool. So, do you think you were in the exact place here?
Like on stage, from wing to wing is your space, and once you're on stage, you're there. In film, you act for a frame, and only director looking at the monitor or viewfinder, the DOP, camera person, they can tell you what's looking right. That's why sometimes they'll ask you to just move a little bit, messing unnaturally, but you got to do it because you're acting for the frame. Yeah, the challenge of the medium is that you do repeat the same thing, repeat it again and again and again, and different. It's all jumbled up. It's random. So you need to find out how to get into that mood, so to say, just before action.
Roll sounds.
Yeah.
Clear.
Roll cameras.
Rolling.
Scene 16, shot 3, take 2.
Error. Cut. Reset. Wrong.
I can't see it on my head like this. If I cut it down, it comes with the camera.
Reset.
So कैसे भी
Yeah. So now look at the wide and look at the close again, and then compare only your acting performance. What else you could have done or what you missed out on. Okay. Let's come out and look at the wide shot. Never say action. Director's job. Anju. Director's job. Yeah, there is a tension. Look at the hand. Look at all of that. Nonetheless, okay, let's have pizza. Looking down, having a slice, not looking at her. She calls you out. Silence. There is a bit of a shock. You don't even notice the waiter. The smile or what?
Yeah.
You smile. You smile. Empty shot.
He's happy.
I can't keep it after the point you smile. I can't keep the shot. So now I'm forced. Even if I want to hold, I'm forced to cut it.
It was very intense. It was very technical. It's very different from anything that I've done before. I think everything matters, little movements, everything, because the camera catches everything.
I felt like it was an accurate representation of what would happen like actually in an actual film set, and it was really fun.
The most important thing I learned was basically how things are done in the set and how things are, basically, the different roles required to actually, produce that film shot.
I don't know. And this is the hospital. Really.
Things have to change.
Yeah, but that's where we had the laughs.
How does it feel in terms of the breaking down of the kind of story of it, of the beat shifts?
I understand.
Yeah. And really, I mean, the lovely thing I would say for this as well, and for all of you to keep in mind, is the fact that now, as you start going through your scripts, as you look at them over the next week, as we look into this, think about how you can break them down into even smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller chunks. So even the whole thing, so Shreyash, with yourself, with the character, when your character is kind of slowly starting to indicate this award that you've gotten, you can really let that land in a way that with everything with your words, you're going, oh, don't worry about that. That's just, yeah, it's stupid. But you're paying so much close attention going, please look at it. Please love this. Do you know what I mean? I think it's great. So think about that, because you're starting to see where the beat shifts are starting to come across. And actually, it feels like by slowing right down, that happened a lot more. Just by slowing the scene right down, we could see where the shifts are.
It's a lot less like nervous, because like on theatre you get one chance and you can't mess it up. At least in screen acting you can take multiple shots to get the right shot, and you can work on each one. I think it's perfect. The more technical the better, the more criticism the better you get to grow. So yeah.
One thing I found difficult was like when like being recorded, it was like very hard to like ignore the camera. Especially if I'm like working with someone else, I need to maintain eye contact with them. But like in the beginning, I kept on like looking at the camera because like the camera captures your attention, right? So, but I feel like today the exercises we did, today I did better than yesterday.
The first shot will start from here. Okay, this is the first shot. Starts here.
You have to see your hand placement.
Yeah, your hands coming in, on camera movement, know when to come in. Have the awareness of the bottle coming in when the camera is there. Please remember what happens when. Use your creativity as artists. It's the first establishing shot. It's an improv. First shot is the camera is going this way. Know when the camera is closer to you. This is your moment. There's no point she does something when the camera is here. And when the camera comes here, that's when I see all of you.
I want you to look at my fingers. This is your inhaling and exhaling, okay? Relax. What we just did was oiling the pipe. Okay? Because we have to keep it all right. Okay? We have to look at it as a physical body. It may be invisible, but it should be visible for us. Okay? Now, if I ask you to quickly get into that awkward moment, the both of you were. Who else is doing awkward moments?
Not much.
Okay? Okay? Can you go into your internal body and breathe in that awkward moment? Just do that.
Position, please. Ria, when you are entering, you're entering as if you know where he's sitting. You know, whenever you enter a restaurant, when you're meeting somebody, you take a little 1-2 seconds to figure out, right?
I was a bit scared first because I didn't know how things were going, but I think then I just sort of got used to the flow, taking shots again and again till we perfected them. Hopefully I perfect them, I don't know, but it was just a great experience because now I know that I love it even more. Like I love being on set. Now I can say that, you know, that I love being on set because I've actually been on set.
The rehearsals definitely helped me a lot, like especially for the close-ups with like internal acting. Like that's the best thing I've learned through the program, like acting through breathing and like more body language.
Oh my god, it was so tiring. We both couldn't get it done in like the first 5 hours, I would say. Like it was exhausting, but we finally got okay takes. It's now all up to Shashwat sir and the editor.
Because initially me and Nitya were just copying what we saw the other actors perform, but by the end of it and by today, I think we made our own versions of the scene. And I think that was really helpful, and it helped us deliver our lines more effectively. I present to you Rishabh Wig. 1 second.
I would say it's been very, very interesting to watch these actors coming out of their shells and becoming more and more gifted and more experienced over time, I would say. I think they both have incredible potential, and actually just to be able to see that properly when they're on camera, to see them especially in close-up, to see how much they're constantly doing is fascinating.
From looking back, looking at the first couple of days when I was telling them, introducing them to sequence, shot, take and how, and then we had this simulation exercise where they were practicing how to be on a set, act and become the crew, to today, where towards the end, the last 1 hour, I was mostly sitting and just telling them do this, do that, and they all sort of hands-on were doing things themselves. So it's very nice to see this transition.
The highlight of the program is definitely the filming. And the one major thing which I learned from the program was apart from acting internally, I also learned how difficult it is actually doing filming, because it took us 6 hours to shoot one 6-minute, 5 to 6 minute piece.
Oh my god, it was quite awkward, but I was quite surprised. It wasn't that bad. I guess it was all in my head. I mean, it got the performance right, but it wasn't that bad. It was kind of awkward because seeing yourself, only hearing about it, but it was quite nice. I enjoyed it.
The special thing I'm taking is the Meissner technique that helps me very much, not going empty into the scene. Also keeping my character inside of me after all the long breaks and all.
The shooting, we knew how it's going to happen, there's going to be a wide angle, there's going to be a shoulder length and a close-up, but once it actually happened, it was a bit different, because there was one point when I was I wasn't even looking at my co-actor, I was looking at some black screen. I was supposed to talk to him, and once I actually saw it here, it was completely different, and it looked like I was actually looking at him and talking to him. And the experience overall, it was nice, it was really fun and exciting. Especially, seeing myself on the screen for the first time.